Ooh, just what I've been waiting for.
Back at it. Another NBS video. A little bit different. As you all can see, we're branching out different content. This will be a discussion vid. You all can read the title. Basically, a homeowner got arrested for 2 package thieves taking his property off of his porch. Georgia, Atlanta. Let's see what they're talking about.
Out of Atlanta, as the homeowner now facing criminal charges after police say he shot 2 teens who were stealing packages. Now, medics rushed both those teens to Grady Memorial Hospital. This was yesterday evening, where one remains in critical condition. Our Fox 5's Angelique Proctor just learned of new developments in this case. Walk us through charges now filed in this, Angelique.
That's right. Good afternoon to you, Eric. This is a major development and a story that a lot of people are talking about. This Southwest Atlanta homeowner now finds himself in the Fulton County Jail charged with not 1 but 2 counts of aggravated assault after allegedly shooting these 2 teens that he said were taking packages from his front porch. Now, take a look at the mugshot that we've gotten. He is Rakeem Bradford. Atlanta police say Bradford shot Jamari Smith and Caden Williams at his home on Celeste Lane in Southwest Atlanta. The teens apparently saw a white delivery truck drop some packages off, and they had agreed to steal those packages according to the warrant that we've read. The teens say before they could get to those packages, though, Bradford started firing. Now, suspect Bradford also called a co-worker that lives in the area and said he was cleaning his gun at the time. Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum responded to the scene last night.
We believe a property crime was occurring, that some packages were being taken off of a front porch. The homeowner did discharge his weapon to stop that theft of the packages. We want to make sure we know what's happening, as individuals being held accountable, and what resources may be needed for that family.
And he is definitely being held accountable at this point, facing not 1 but 2 counts of aggravated assault. We are also told that Smith is still recovering at Grady Hospital. He was apparently shot in the torso, has had emergency surgery, and the second teen was shot in the foot. Both of them are expected to recover. That is the very latest from Southwest Atlanta. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
All right. So, yeah, short story short, basically, 2 teenagers were coming up to a homeowner's porch because they saw packages outside and they agreed to go and take them. Before they were able to run off with the packages, homeowner caught them in the act, shot both of them. Now, keep in mind, both teenagers are alive. They did go to the hospital. Both survived. None died from this incident. But he is being charged with 2 counts, as you heard, of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
He's being charged. What's throwing me off about that whole situation is you have a grown man protecting the value of what he spent his money on and what he has, you know, his property and all that stuff. And yes, could it have been approached a little differently? And my man Duff always says approach is the big, you know, it's the big factor between it. But like, you gotta understand, between taking somebody's stuff, sneaking and taking somebody's stuff, and then premeditatedly taking somebody's stuff, like, that's all going to lead to something else, like, that's obviously led to this situation. But it just don't make sense how he's being charged, because any other person would have, like, not being biased here, but if it was a white person, they wouldn't have been charged. I
was gonna say,
personally, I'm throwing my opinion. I don't think a white person would have been charged for protecting the value and the assets that they have. Now, it would have been different if, well, didn't they say he was on the FaceTime?
So keep in mind these 2 things, right? I'm a fan of make it racial when there's racial evidence, right? I don't want to just go out and make a generalization, because again, there are white people who have been charged with protecting their home just like black people. Now, as far as the scale, if you want to argue the scale of who's more likely to be incarcerated for it, then that's fine. But focus on the situation at hand. Yeah, you have to isolate it. So, as far as what happened, is he in the wrong? So, you have to go over these 3 things when it comes to defending yourself or your property. So, for one, intent. what was the intent behind it? For 2, was it excessive? And for 3, what did he do after the fact? So what were his actions after he's already fired his weapon? He done struck both of them. What did he do after the fact? I don't think he was wrong because, again, they wouldn't have been shot had they had not tried to attempt to steal his property. And again,
I was gonna say, based on the way she explained it, it kind of sounded shaky to me because she said before they even were able to go up to the packages that he started firing. So it's kind of like, depending on that, you don't know if they were coming to deliver a pizza, ask for something, ask for sugar. I don't know. It could have been anything, but
yeah. Now,
depending on that, I don't know. It could be a little shaky.
That might be evidence-based, though, so we don't know what type of evidence they have. Now, I will say this. If he has video of those 2 teenagers running up onto his property with masks on, then there's no, at that point, you know what their intent is. Because if I see 2 masked individuals running onto my property or my land, then I'm going to treat it as the worst situation.
But yeah, that, and even again before, if they were caught stealing in the past too, then that could have definitely just been a reoccurrence of trying to protect his stuff. So.
You can't say that either though, because again, people can change. So I'm not a fan of judging.
What does that have to do with?
So listen. When it comes to how you were convicted for a crime that you're committing, it should be based on the actions that are at hand and present.
Yeah.
Because let's say somebody pulls you over and you have a conviction. You have a prior conviction, but you've turned your life around since then. You've never been in any other crime since that past conviction. Imagine that's your only conviction, but you get pulled over and the police say, well, you had an aggravated assault before. So you seem kind of suspicious. Go ahead and step out the car for me. Let me flip your whip and search you because you have a prior conviction. I think you're on the way to commit another aggravated assault.
But no,
I don't know.
I'm not a fan of that.
I feel like if you take somebody, right, and they've like stole a bunch of money within like the past year or 2, like I'm not finna allow that person in my house.
Absolutely.
I'm not finna trust that person. Like people can change, but like something like that within the past couple of years.
So now that's different. Now in a social setting or the people you allow around me, you're absolutely allowed to judge somebody based on their past. But I'm talking about in a court of law, right, where somebody's freedom and livelihood could be taken away. So that should be judged.
Like it should be just isolated.
That should be isolated in the sense of, okay, so let's say this. There needs to be proper evidence and probable cause for you to accuse somebody of something. Now, if you're committing the same crime over and over again, is that going to be brought up in court? Yes. But that's not the job of that street cop. That street cop is to judge you based on the actions that you've done at that moment.
Right.
The lawyer or the attorney, prosecutor, whoever's looking to convict you, that's his job, is to look up your prior criminal history and then to associate it to what you've done today. But the street cop, and that's a lot of problems I have with police. Police are not judge, attorneys, or prosecutor. Their job is to judge you at face value, and that's it. And you don't have a lot of that.
When you look at the role of the cop, though, if you pull up and you're reading somebody's tag and it says that they have prior accusations of murder or prior accusations of robbery, grand theft, or whatever, you are going to be kind of like shaky, like going up to that car.
And that's fine too. You can be on alert, but there's a difference
you're gonna treat them different than somebody with a clean slate.
Even if it's the case of letting them off, that's fine too. But there's a difference between being on alert and violating somebody's rights. You can't violate somebody's rights because you're afraid of them. That's not how that works, unfortunately. And if you are that terrified of somebody, you shouldn't be a police officer. You have to treat somebody, regardless of their prior charges, as you would any other person.
And even back to what we were saying about the approach, that could have definitely been approached a different way. Had it been him coming out of the door and checking them about it, and like catching them, or I'm not even gonna say.
You don't know what
I was about to say. That's the point.
I'm not gonna say it's the safest. But would it have involved him being convicted of 2 aggravated assault charges? No, it might have just been a confrontation to where it could have been a misunderstanding, or you can't be right here, you can't touch none of this stuff on my property, and they could have left it at that. But both of them being shot, that's the only wrong thing that's going through my mind as far as
think it's
the approach.
So because
he just it just sounded like he opened up the door and started letting it off.
But it's either you sit in the house and call the police, or you open your door and like defend yourself. So for me, it's no talking.
Keep in mind, and that's I'm the same way with Georgie. So a lot of people don't understand. You are supposed to take the best possible chance of safety for yourself. So that's what people, when people ask, you know, why does somebody have to shoot somebody multiple times? Why can't you shoot them one time and be done? Yes, you can shoot somebody one time, and there have been plenty of times where people have been knocked out, incapacitated from one shot alone. There have also been other times where people have eaten that shot and returned fire, and then killed the person looking to defend themselves. So you take the best possible route for success. You coming out, or let me say this, from my standpoint, or if you ask for my logic, coming out to two masked teenagers, even if they weren't masked, but two teenagers who are sprinting at your doorstep looking to take something from you, I'm not looking to reason with you, because at that point, I don't know how hungry you are. I don't know what your intent is, if I won't let you get the package, and I'm not sure if you're armed either. And again, they're initiating the crime. They're in the wrong from the beginning. So if you ask me, I would do the same thing, because again, people have to put in perspective what type of economy we're in right now too. People are starving. A lot of people have been laid off. Job security is at a very low point in U.S. history. You don't know what he had in there. He could have had food, groceries, baby formula, which you know that isn't cheap, diapers. And if somebody's looking to rob me of my groceries and I just spent $200, $150 to feed me and my family, absolutely I'm gonna take your life over them. If it's between you and my stomach, well, I'm choosing my stomach every time. Boom. That's the last thing you're gonna hear, real talk. So I don't understand why he got charged for aggravated assault. Now, again, I'm sure now keep in mind though, from this report, he only shot them once each. Yeah. So one of them, I believe he got hit in the hip. The other, let me check up on that. Yeah, in the foot. And they've both recovered since then. Nobody has died. No fatalities have occurred from this situation. So I don't think he should be charged.
Yeah, and that's for the reason why I think that it's kind of overkill on his part, because it's like you don't have to charge him for defending his home, and it is a necessary defense for you to defend, you know, your house. Your
yeah, it's on his property. Keep in mind, this is in Georgia too, so it depends on the state. State does matter, but we are speaking from Georgia. The three of us live in Georgia currently. Georgia. We live in Atlanta. I was born and raised in Atlanta, so I'm very familiar with the gun laws of Atlanta, Georgia. And he's within his right. They were on his property. They attempted to steal his property, and he returned fire.
Well, you better fight it, boy.
Yeah.
Fight
because
that.
Keep in mind, a lot of people don't know this. You have a right to defend not only yourself, other people, but also your property from felony crimes. If somebody were to try and hop in my car and steal my car, and I shot the shit out of them from my rooftop, from my window, or I ran up on the side of my window and popped them, I would get exonerated. I would be free of all crime or penalty because they were in commission of a felony while trying to steal my property.
Well, we can't say that because that's exactly what's going on in this video.
So now it's a case-by-case basis. No one case is the same as the other, right? A car, some people will argue a car is a lot different from a package on the porch. I don't. Because again, you don't know what he had in those packages. You don't know.
You don't want the Camaro to be jacked.
No, but it's not. Of course I don't, because I done paid good money for it. But it's not just about whether it's a car or it's a package. It's you don't know someone's situation.
Yeah.
You don't know what he had in the package. Again, it could have been food. It could have been baby formula, which there's a shortage of right now as well. Diapers. Something extremely crucial. Shit, his granny ashes could have been in that package. You don't know.
Literally.
You literally don't know. And that's why I think it's kind of odd that he's getting charged with aggravated assault when there would have been no aggravated assault had they not come on his property. Right? If you know well enough to steal, then you know well enough what could happen from stealing.
Behind it, yep.
So, I think he should be released. I don't see he did. I don't see
that
he did anything wrong.
Free him, man.
But that's gonna be the end of this little discussion vid. MBS, and we'll get at y'all in the next video, man. Bang, bang, bang.
He cold.